afternoon, Las Vegas. My name is Dawn Sullivan, and this is the Vegas Views. Welcome. Today, I'm here with my co-host for the day. So excited to have you, Danny Miner. How are you today?
Thank you for having me today. I'm glad to be back.
You are so welcome. So last week, we had Danny and Dave. Fantastic show. A lot about crime. So this week, we have a story. We have Levi McDonald coming to us from Las Vegas. I know him personally, and he's got a story to tell.
I'm interested in it.
Yeah.
See if I could help him out with this or anything I could do or give advice.
Yeah.
So definitely that's why I'm here.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay, guys, let me just do my updates really quick. One thing. Thank you, guys. You have me up to 106,000 followers. Nothing like you, but
No,
thank you guys for my 106, almost 700,000 followers last week. I wasn't even at 100, so thank you so much. I will get to all your questions. Some of you guys, much love. Others, we all have haters, okay? Real quick, I have an announcement to make. Saturday, this is so important. I know most of you guys that watch the show know who Frank Perillo is, Dream Tracks Academy. He will be speaking, and hopefully he'll have some time for you guys after he speaks to meet and mingle. If he doesn't, just tell him, Dawn said you'd talk to me. Thanks, Frank. Okay, so it's the Las Vegas meetup now. It's at 317 South 6th Street, downtown Las Vegas. There's going to be a lot of industry people talking. A place you definitely want to be. It's from 12 to 6 p.m. Frank is speaking at 4:30. So to all of Frank's fans, 4:30 this Saturday, Frank is speaking. It's basically right by Fremont Street. If you need any more information, you can log back into us, go to Dream Treks. You guys can hit me up on my Insta handle, Dawn Sullivan _. You can go directly to Frank Perillo. You guys should check it out. This is going to be awesome. I'm going to be there as well. Natalie Stout will be there as well. Super excited. You are absolutely invited, 100%.
Oh, thank you.
It's really cool.
Okay.
Yeah. Actually, something cool happened. Something cool happened this week before we bring our guest on. I had Danny come to an audition this week, which was so super cool. Okay, so it was.
Listen, I was a little embarrassed by that, but I'm getting over it. My next acting try will be better.
Actually, production liked you. They thought that you were cool.
You know what? I'm usually not nervous at all.
Okay.
I'm very extroverted, as you know.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I got that paper. I couldn't stop shaking. I was trying to read the lines. I got nervous. It was the first time.
The cool thing, his whole personality changed, and I thought, oh, wow, this is kind of cool to see him under a different light. But it was awesome. Production liked him. He actually played the role of the cop, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so that kind of was cool. So, we're having some great auditions. Out of, I think, 100 people, they picked 17 of our talent for 6 different episodes. Thank you guys from the Shot series coming out and sharing yourselves with us and our talent. We're so grateful to have you guys. If you guys are interested at all, one more note before we go. We are opening another IMTA for January. January 4th, I believe it starts. In Los Angeles. So we have New York that we're going to. We're all packed up, guys. I'm sorry, there's no more entries. I know some of you had gotten in touch with me. I just don't have time to train you. If I did, I'd be able to bring you guys. That one's shut down for right now, but we're going for January 4th, IMTA Los Angeles. I'm going to be honest, not as big as New York, but it's a fantastic opportunity. Singers, dancers, models, actors, actresses. Guys, get in touch with me, dreamtracksacademy.com, 877-ACTING-4, 877-ACTING-4. I'm going to have all this stuff. My production, Maria, she's going to list all this stuff below, so you guys will be able to see all these telephone numbers and things that I'm shouting out. So if you're at home, don't worry, we'll tell you after. Guys, stay tuned. We're going to be back in a second. You really don't want to miss this show. Some of our stuff's super serious. This is going to be a good one. Thanks for tuning in.
This show is brought to you by New American Funding.
I can already feel you judging me, and not for what I've done in the past, but for what I'm about to do. I had what mattered, and I got careless. I don't deserve more. I don't deserve sympathy. I don't deserve to be here.
Where the hell are you? Why aren't you answering your phone?
Jenna! What is the matter with you?
Someone once told me, you may not be everybody's cup of tea, but you're somebody's shot of whiskey.
Excuse me, ma'am. My car ran out of gas and I left my wallet at home.
Could you please spare a couple dollars so I can refuel my vehicle?
I literally have nothing.
What's it gonna take to get you to join the program?
Get back, dog! If Jesus wanted you to have a dog, he would have blessed you with a foal or a leash now, wouldn't he?
Have you ever dreamed of sharing your views and knowledge with the world? It should be easy, right? Just turn on your phone, talk into the camera, upload to your social media, then sit back and wait to go viral. Unfortunately, it's not that easy. Not only that you need a great message, you also need a video production as well as a quality sound and lighting. If that's not enough, you still need to make sure that video's description, title, and thumbnails are optimized by SEO and search algorithms. What a hassle! Don't worry, Social Media Shows is here to help. With our years of production online experience and professional studio, we can remove all the technical roadblocks out of your way so that you can focus on the message you want to share with the whole world. We have production plans that fit any budget. Visit Social Media Shows today at socialmediashows.com and schedule your free pilot audition today.
Welcome back, guys. Thank you for you guys who stayed logged in, and for the new people who had just logged in. Just want to let you know we have a fantastic show going on right now. I have with me Danny Miner. Danny, can you tell them just a little bit about yourself real quick?
Well, I was a cop for 27 years, 14 as a detective. I host the Crime Solver podcast, and I have a TikTok, The Crime Solver. Basically, what we're doing is trying to solve cold cases and missing persons.
Extremely successful TikTok. Go check out his TikTok. I have here our guest for today. This is Levi McDonald. Levi is a personal friend of mine. He is an actor, a model, but he's got a story to tell. So we're going to get that. Thank you so much for being here today, Levi.
Thank you so much.
Dave Coleman, how are you? Dave, can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm David Kohlmeier. I am known as the problem solver, and I'm a retired police officer as well, 17 years in law enforcement. Henderson PD locally here in Las Vegas, and then also NYPD in Brooklyn and Manhattan. And I've been out here 21 years. The goal is to help people solve their problems, and working with Danny in regards to the crimes that are cold cases to work together to try to get some justice for people.
Okay, awesome. Okay, fantastic, guys. All right, let's get started here. Real quick, I just want to say something funny. So Dave and I just did not know each other at all. We got linked by a mutual friend. Actually, one of my talent had said, hey, I want to link you up with this guy. I think you and this guy would be good. You could do some work together, whatever. I called him, and the second he picked up the phone, I said, where are you from? And I knew, and he told me where he was from. And then I said, no, you got to be kidding me. And then he said, what high school did you go to? And I said, no, now you got to be kidding me. And then he said, well, what year did you graduate? I'm not going to date myself because that's the biggest question. You guys want to know how old I am? So don't let him in. But we graduated almost the same years of the same high school and just didn't know each other, but we know a lot of the same people. So we're repping New York. Okay. Anyway, with that being said, so Levi, tell us a little about yourself. Where are you from, Levi?
I'm from here, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Born and
raised.
Okay.
There's not too many of us out
here. No,
most of us come down from California, or try to get away, try to save some money. But no, born and raised.
Okay. Awesome. Okay. Tell us about why you're here today. What do you want to talk about today, Levi? What do you got going on?
So when I was younger, I have 3 brothers.
Okay.
Unfortunately, one of them was shot and killed when I was 17, so 12 years ago.
Okay.
And it was never solved. We were in contact with detectives on the case, and they just stopped calling. Stopped returning our calls, stopped calling us back.
Okay.
So
till this day,
yeah, we don't know anything.
So you were 17. How old was your brother?
20.
He's 20 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a brother you grew up with him, part of your, every day?
Every day.
Just gone, and you have no answers.
Yeah.
And nobody has attempted to solve this? Nobody pulled it as a cold case, anything like that?
According to my knowledge, no. I kind of felt like they forgot about it.
Okay.
Didn't really care.
Okay. If you don't mind me asking, what were the circumstances around this? How did this happen? Do you know that information?
From my knowledge, I was not there, so I can't confirm. But from my knowledge, it was a drug deal gone wrong, I believe,
Okay.
and they set my brother up and shot him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like you have a question.
Just to get some more details in general. So, was this a North Las Vegas or North Las Vegas
North
case?
Las Vegas, yeah.
Okay, and then, so it's been how many years now?
12.
12 years. And have you ever, normally there's either a cold case or investigators, when's the last time you had contact? Has it just been forever?
I don't think they ever called back.
Do you feel like, have you tried calling or they just don't call back?
Oh, we tried calling.
Okay.
I don't know if, my mom tried calling as of, maybe the last few years or so, but for the first couple of years we were calling. We weren't getting anything in return.
Mm-hmm.
I even emailed and got nothing.
Was there any type of, suspect information, or like when we say it's a drug deal that went bad, is there more that you can share about it?
We pretty much are, I don't want to say sure, but we believe it was some people that he used to hang out with. And they knew, where he was going to be or where he hung out at, and they took advantage of that.
Okay. And I'm assuming that we believe that the law enforcement conducted an interview and they spoke with all those people, right?
I don't think so.
So you just don't think, you feel like law enforcement kind of let you down, basically not much is done?
I personally feel that they misidentified my brother. They misidentified him as just another bad person off the street. We don't need to really pay attention to this, Next.
Can I ask a question about that, guys? Does that happen often? Because in a lot of cases that I watch, I see if there's drugs involved or prostitution involved or something where society may deem it like, oh, it's just, I'm sorry to say this, but like another statistic or something like that. They don't pay as much attention. Is that true? Like, for instance, if something happened to me, people are going to just be all up on it. What happened to her? But if I was a drug user or a prostitute or something like that, not so much. I mean, does it work like that, or do you guys actively work on cases the same?
Well, you know what? I think when you said that, okay, that they haven't called you back, I think this happens a lot in cases like this. I really do, because you have to keep pressure on the police.
Mm-hmm.
You really do, because there's different cases, especially in Vegas, right? There's almost a murder happening here every day.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. I remember Thanksgiving weekend, I think we had 8 murders in a weekend.
Yeah.
So every day, so this case is important to them, to the next case comes in, to the next case comes in, and then they get piled up and they put it on the back burner, especially if there's not pressure. And that's why I started my podcast. My podcast, and I'm going to definitely do a TikTok on your brother's case if you don't mind, okay?
I don't mind.
Because I need to get that out there, and that's what my podcast does. It gets it out there, it keeps it in the light, because if you don't keep it in the light, the cops don't have pressure on them. You know what I mean? So that's why we need to get your case back out there, honestly. And I'm here to help you with that. Because if we get that on in the TikTok, we get people talking, it puts pressure on the police. And honestly, they put it on the back burner if there's not a lot of leads. And they thought, we could solve this case, we can't solve this, so we're going to actively pursue this more. Because we don't have enough leads, we don't have enough witnesses on this. It's like human nature. You know what I mean?
But it's still not right.
I agree with you. It's still not right. And do I think that what you said is true? I think sometimes, in the back of people's heads, they're like that. They're, it was just a drug deal that gone bad. I hate to say that, but I believe people do think that way sometimes.
Which is so unfortunate.
I know.
A human life is a human life regardless. We all make decisions
Right.
that shape and mold our life. Sometimes we go down the wrong path, we clean ourselves up, whatever it is.
Yeah.
So it's still a human life, however we look at it. So it is so unfortunate.
Do you mind me asking how old your brother was?
He was 20.
20. Oh my gosh.
About 4 months before his 21st birthday.
He was a baby.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Where did this happen at?
You want like the cross streets?
Yeah, just in the vicinity. Like
off of like Clayton and Ann Road.
Was it just the streets? Was it at a house?
No, it was in my cousin's driveway.
So it was in your cousin's driveway. So it must have been people that knew what has taken place, right? Just know.
From asking certain questions amongst mutual friends, we got a kind of general idea of what happened.
Okay. And did anyone say, hey, I think it's this person, that person?
Yeah.
And that information was given to law enforcement?
Yes. They said it was 3 brothers, They used to come to our house. They used to hang out with my brother, and they were the ones.
Got it.
Yeah.
You know, one of the things doing that we try to do is that first we can get pictures of his brother, and then like we can make a flyer, we can make a poster, you know, and so on. We can do things to stir things up. With Danny, he's using the media right now through TikTok and social media to get the message out, to go a little bit more viral. The one thing I come into play, which Danny and I laughed in the past, is my big thing is always to offer reward money. It's an incentive basically to get people to come forward. Now, I definitely would we worked recently with some different private investigators.
Okay.
And with these private investigators, it's something that we maybe ask that investigator to reach out to North Las Vegas, police department, and say, hey, what's the status on this case? So what we can do is use our leverage of our, let's say, media power in regards to the community and asking private investigators to reach out on his behalf to see what's going on with the case, and basically saying that we would maybe want to offer some type of reward money.
I love that, Dave. How does that work now? So, for instance, okay, you have like a private party, a business, an LLC, whatever it is, a clump of people, and they want to say, okay, I have $10,000 to give to your cause, and then you go ahead and you say, we have this much reward money. If that's somebody giving, let's say, some information, just information to lead to the person who did it, that person will actually get a reward.
Correct. So what happens is,
guys, listen to this.
It's very interesting because Crime Stoppers locally in Nevada, which they're in every state, whether in Pennsylvania or New York City, there's Crime Stoppers all over.
Sure.
So if people have tips, they can basically report different tips, whether anonymously online or through a regular phone call, and they get a tip number. That tip number that you get means that when law enforcement makes an arrest, they actually get a form when they make an arrest, and they'll fill out, hey, the Crime Stopper tip number A123 is what solved this particular crime, and then they will pay out that person anonymously. The way that works is they'll normally put cash in an envelope, and they'll say, hey, go to Bank of America, Bank of Nevada, go somewhere, and they'll say, tell them that you're here for Crime Stopper tip number. They'll find an envelope of cash, and they just give it with no ID, nothing whatsoever.
Awesome.
There'll be envelope, basically cash of money in the envelope, and it can range from $700 to normally about $2,000, but it does change depending upon the reward situation. Recently, one of the things I'm very fortunate with is that I just recently started about 3.5 months ago working for Sam Ryan Hadari, which is the Hadari Law Group.
Yeah.
And what's great about him is he's all about getting justice for people because he is a personal injury law firm. And these days I'm actually bringing these cases to him and saying, look, what can we do? Can we offer some type of reward money? So this is a big deal. Recently, it was $10,000 for reward money for a guy that was a hit and run military. He was about 23 years of age, and that tip money did lead to the arrest of the person that stole a car and hit this particular gentleman that was on a motorcycle going to work, and he died. The $10,000 basically led to the arrest and conviction recently, about 2 months ago, for that particular gentleman that caused this, horrific accident and death of this person. And then recently we had a $5,000 reward where it was someone that did a hate crime and did a SWAT sticker on someone's body, who a person was mute, not really couldn't speak in general, and right now that's still outstanding. And then someone's heard about the $5,000 reward, and they said they'll match it. But what's very interesting, Crime Stoppers won't really take any extra money. If you give Crime Stoppers money, they can decide what they want to do with it.
Sure.
So Hadari Law Group basically set up like a justice fund where we're basically using the money that he basically will give to people, reward money, or if other people want to match. So as I came here today, I spoke with Sam Hadari, and I told him a little bit about the case, and he said that he would do a $5,000 reward for the arrest.
Awesome!
That's awesome! Congratulations, Levi. That is awesome.
Awesome.
Arrest and conviction and sentence for whoever basically caused this crime, and we will use some of the private investigators that we use to reach out to North Las Vegas Police Department in order to see what we can do, maybe stir it up again. And again, these days with Danny, since he has over 170,000 followers, the Crime Solver.
That's awesome.
I know. I got chills.
I know.
I'm glad you did.
Yeah.
Crime Solver and the private investigator companies that work with Danny and myself will try to stir things up a little bit. We'll use the reward money. We'll make a flyer. We'll try to stir things up. We'll get with you in general, get a little bit more of the story, whatever you can share, and then let's see what we can do. I mean, it's all we can really do at this point in time is try to pressure law enforcement, like Danny says. And we've both been behind the scenes, so we know that basically how important it is once you get a little bit of pressure from supervisors or from the mayor's office or the governor's office, right? Basically, that is going to basically pressure law enforcement to go and do a lot more than you normally would. But I will share with you one thing is that sometimes law enforcement officers, they get negative doing the job, right? 20 years, 25 years.
Yeah.
Danny's doing it for 27 years, 10 years more than me. He's got a lot more stress and anxiety and PTSD just from being a cop and a detective. But what's important is that we become negative sometimes.
Yeah.
So if we know that, it's 2 drug dealers or something, drug deal, maybe he deserved it. That are some thoughts of cops that have actually gone through a lot over the years. And it's definitely wrong, but it's like someone that's been victimized for 20 years being a cop. They're tainted by all the negativity, right? Mm-hmm. Normally a cop doesn't get positive news. Every call he goes on is negative. Nothing's positive really, right?
Yeah.
So with that being said, but it is a big high for a cop or a detective to actually get the bad guy. He looks amazing, or she looks amazing as a law enforcement official where they capture somebody, right? They look great to everybody. They solve the crime. So even though a person can be a little negative depending on what law enforcement it may be, the truth is they really want to solve that crime. They look amazing to the administration, to their peers. So
to the public.
And to the public. So if they got information, I couldn't imagine they're like taking information and like holding it back and saying, we're not looking to make an arrest. Maybe there's just not enough evidence. Now, probable cause is 1% over 50% just to make the arrest. Doesn't mean there's going to be a conviction. But that 1% over 50% will lead to the arrest. And hopefully with interviewing the person or getting evidence or applying some pressure, normally will help get an admission. And Danny's really big. Danny can speak about how people confess.
Before we go to Danny, real quick. So from what I'm hearing, the reward system is absolutely amazing. It pushes people when there's money involved to more so say, yeah, I saw this 12 years ago, I heard this 12 years ago, rather than when there's zero at stake, they're not going to come forward for whatever the reasons. But if there's money there, people are more likely to go ahead. So you're finding that 100%?
Yes, but I will share one thing is I think these days things are a little bit different. Crime Stoppers has not caught up to the media, social media realm that we're at. And I'll give you an example with this. Like, let's just say, this is interesting. I'm sharing something with Danny for the first time. Let's just say where that murder happened, you can take the reward money, whether it's a video or his TikTok or even a flyer, and we can target that area, right?
Sure.
Through social media of where the actual incident happened. Yeah. So you could say within a quarter-mile radius of where the murder took place,
this
that
date,
we can
this
market,
time,
right?
this happened, this year.
Yeah, we could sponsor it and market it to that area because people may have known about that crime, or maybe there was someone heard something about it. So I think we could target more. Crime Stoppers is really big. Like, hey, if you got a tip, call it in. I don't think this is so specific. And then every other day or every week there's something new, right? So we forget about the past. So I think with ourselves, the Crime Solver, the Problem Solver, Crime Stoppers, Hadari Law Group, we're trying to restir things up as cases come forward to us. So I think what we're doing is a little bit different.
Yeah. I love this work that you guys do.
And just to give you some, that it might work for you. I had a lady on my podcast about 4 weeks ago. Her son got in an argument with his girlfriend. This is what she says, and he walked out of the house and was never seen again. Okay? He's been missing for 2 years. Now the cops went to the scene. There was blood found on the refrigerator in her house, and the table was knocked over, chairs were knocked over. The cops never made it a crime scene. They just reported him missing. Mm-hmm. Never did a crime scene, never did nothing. She was on my podcast, and then she was on 4 other podcasts. Guess what? After 2 years, now they're reaching back out to her because the pressure's on them. She was on my podcast. She was on other podcasts. She's coming back on my podcast tomorrow to give me new information. And the sheriff is now nervous in her county because the pressure's on him. So that's what I'm telling you. Pressure is big. And I'll invite you on my podcast too. We'll talk afterwards. But I will do a TikTok talking about the reward money given out, and I'll get it out there. And I have 160,000 followers, and they always share my things too. So you're getting it out there to maybe 500,000 people, which is huge.
I really and above my heart. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. And I promise you, I'll work with you. I'll definitely work with you. And Dave, that was awesome. And
thank you, Dave. That's really cool.
It was awesome.
Yeah, because I'm really proud to work with Samurai Hadari for the fact that he's willing to put his money in front, especially for wrongful death cases, personal injury. Even though he deals with the car accidents and the injuries, the wrongful death.
Can you leave that with my producer so she can put his name on the bottom, and so we can actually thank him, maybe send some thank you cards his way for the stuff
we'll work together to
he's
figure out, make some social media, some flyers, things like that. We can even do a news release together as well, just to basically kind of bring it attention. And then we never know what other media. That's one thing that we've had success with, is that we are basically doing news releases to the community, to open cases, and to just get the word out there a little bit more. Because like I said, like the SWAT sticker incident, it was like last week. Even if we sent out like an update, like it doesn't even make the news.
Yeah.
That's like old news already.
Yeah.
So again, we only could
Well,
hope
it makes
that
your news because you pick up I mean, there's some cases I was watching on yours, like, wow, you pick up everything.
And you know what? It's really crazy. Just you would think like TikTok, like who's really watching you? Who's this? But really, I've only been doing this a year. My TikTok has been on Dateline, 2020. I was on Brute, CNN, Brute Media in France.
They like you because you're screaming at everybody.
Yeah, that's what it is.
You log on and Danny's just yelling at somebody about something and it's entertaining too, and you're like, your reaction though, I have to be honest, let's just lighten the mood for a second. Some of your stuff's hysterical because you're like, could you believe? And you're like, oh God, there's Danny again. What is he pissed at today? Because you're like always mad. So that's the thing. What is Danny? So I'm at the gym, like Danny's pissed. Let's even that out today. But they're interesting stories and it's so great to put them out there, especially for the families like your family. I have to ask really quick, before I get on to you. So you said something to Levi. You said the things you could talk about. Are there things that he should not talk about in the case? What do you
we
mean
can
by
always
that?
talk with him privately if there's certain things that he doesn't want to talk about specifically right now. We can always address those.
That's what you meant by that.
And I think it's just something you should be prepared if Danny has you on the Crime Solver. I mean, just think about what you want to say. Is it specific? Is it certain people, or that's something that maybe you want to be more confidential?
Okay.
So, yeah,
what do you suggest at this point? Is my question. Like, do you think for right now he should?
I think
not talk.
I personally would say type up like a Word document basically about the whole incident, everything you know, who was there, and so on, and then we can get together and and then you can decide what you want to talk about in general, or just like the location, the time. You know, we don't have to be specific when we talk about who was there that day, but it may be something where the private investigators want a little bit more information, or maybe law enforcement didn't have all the information the day that happened. Do they know of all the people who were at the location as well? We don't want to just accuse somebody in general where we don't really know, but maybe make a list of the people. If you have phone numbers or emails or Facebook profiles, stuff like that, bring everything together like a little bit of a report for Danny and myself, and then we'll work on putting something together. And then we'll, like I said, we'll contact law enforcement. We use our private investigators these days just because whether they're retired FBI or retired Metro, we kind of stick to what we're doing, but we're going to use an outside entity to assist us with trying to get justice for for him.
Yeah. So my question to you was, parents, how are your parents? How?
Oh,
we
have different dads.
Okay.
He was never close with his dad.
Okay.
His dad passed away some years ago. I don't know him. My mom, dad broke her. I mean, I have a child now. I couldn't imagine losing
You have a little
child.
girl, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I have a 6-year-old child, and the fact that my mom lost her child before he was even old enough to have a drink,
right?
Yeah.
You know, that I'm sure it crushed her heart and soul.
Yeah.
You know, and it unfortunately created a divide within my family. It seemed like, you know, cousins and aunties and stuff like that. Everybody went their own way, and
tragedy will do that.
Yeah,
tragedy.
Man, it's still like that. We haven't.
Do you have a good relationship with your mom for the most part?
I don't.
Okay. Yeah, that was a big loss for everybody then.
Yeah, for sure.
If you don't mind me asking, what was your brother's name?
Dakota.
Yeah.
Okay. And Dakota wasn't a bad guy. That's what I feel got misconstrued because of how he died.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say, you know, breaking the law is breaking the law, but the way we grew up, you had to make a little extra money to feed yourself and clothe yourself and stuff.
So would you say, Levi, you had somewhat of a hard upbringing?
Yes. Yes. I mean, it was hard, but I know other people have it a lot worse than I did.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's love missing in the house. You know, pretty much was just my 3 brothers and myself growing up. It was not parents really in the household too much. It was us 4, and you kind of just figure out life together. So to have a quarter of that taken away is a big blow. So it's unfortunate, but my brother was a nice person. He was always caring and looking out for the family, and you know, when I was younger, getting us soap and things that we needed and toilet paper and things of that such. He was a provider for the family. And that's something that I never appreciated or even really understood until he was gone. It took time for me to grow up and understood him being a provider. But yeah, I miss him. I miss him every day.
I am so sorry for your loss. On a very positive note, I know Levi personally, guys. We're going to have to go on a break in just a minute, but real quick. I know Levi personally, and one of the nicest, most well-rounded, talented people. He's my buddy. We share class together every Friday night. Occasionally he's around on Sundays. We spend some time together. Such a great guy, such a great provider. His daughter is absolutely adorable. He lives this amazing life. Real quick, sounds like a very hard upbringing. What made you say, I'm going to live a good, productive, happy, healthy life? Because to me, that's everything you are. He's the guy that's like up at 6 a.m, like working out and hitting the ground. He's coming to New York with me in June 24 too, for IMTA, for acting, modeling, all of it. What got you that good? How did you get this good?
Perseverance.
Okay.
You know, coming from somewhat towards the bottom, I want things.
Mm-hmm.
I want to experience. I want to live life.
Yeah.
And, you know, not having that reassurance or that confidence growing up, the confidence that's instilled from those around you, not having that on a day-to-day, you got to find it amongst yourself.
Okay.
And
So you went deep in here to find
when I joined the military, I found it.
Okay.
You know, I had to do things and really push myself past my mental and physical limits, but I came out the other side so thankful.
Yeah.
So accomplished. I felt good in here. It gave me that reassurance and that confidence that I was missing at a younger age, and now I feel like I can do anything I want.
Well, you can, and you are such a talented actor. I love you I love you being a part of my world, guys. We have to take a break. When we come back, there's more to come with Levi, Danny, Dave, myself. Guys, tune back in.
This show is brought to you by Deborah Richards. Move Me No Mountains. Now available at Amazon Prime.
Trying to buy a home these days is tough. We know. We hear it every day. Home inventory is at an all-time low. It's a seller's market, and cash buyers have the advantage. Recently, cash buyers made up more than a quarter of all home purchases. So, how do you compete with cash buyers and win? By becoming a cash buyer yourself. How do you do that? With New American Funding's Buyer Accepted program. Here's how it works. Buyer Accepted LLC, an affiliated company of New American Funding, will buy your new home with cash and sell it back to you for the original purchase price, plus a service fee that can be added to the purchase price of the home once you secure mortgage financing with New American Funding. This turns you into a cash buyer and helps you win the bidding war. And the best part? You don't need to sell your current home first. Don't miss this opportunity to buy your dream home. Call New American Funding today or visit newamericanfunding.com to learn more about becoming a cash buyer and winning the bidding war.
Hello, everyone. This is Joseph Skoda with Social Media Shows. Well, I thank all of you for your support through these last several years, and it's been a lot of fun. We've given people a voice they never had before. Now, Social Media Shows is always collaborating with our veterans to help them do things and help out the veterans who are struggling today. And we teamed up with GI Connections, connecting veterans with resources. So please consider helping and donating to this great cause, because we're always doing things for veterans. So GI Connections, Social Media Shows, and you is what makes the world a better place. Once again, Joseph Skoda, proud United States Air Force veteran.
Thank you guys for staying logged in, and for you guys who just logged in, I'm here with Danny, Dave, and Levi. Levi's our guest today. We have some serious stuff going on here. Let's continue where we were, guys. So, okay, again, thank you for being a part of our lives here. Thank you for sharing this story. We truly appreciate it. I know that's got to be hard to bring it to light all these years later, but I'm so glad that hopefully with Dave's help and Danny's help, my help, that we can somehow get something going and the ball rolling at least. And you had something to say. What was that?
One thing you said that hit me, you said, your brother had to do what he had to do because, you just needed money. And if you ever remember a quote by Tupac in one of his songs, and it always hit me, even as a cop, he says, I never committed a crime I didn't have to commit.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't realize that when you don't have money, what are you going to do? Right? Mm-hmm. You need to eat. And that's why I think we definitely need a reform in the criminal justice system.
Absolutely.
And a lot of people would think a cop would never say that, but I've been there. I realized that some people, we all don't start on the same track. We don't. And if you think you do, you're lying to yourself. Okay, you're definitely lying to yourself. You know, I grew up in a middle class family. You know, I never was rich, but we never hurt for anything. You know, I never was where my next meal was coming from. You know what I mean? We were just middle class. So I get it, and I think we definitely need to reform the criminal justice system. Addiction, you should not be in a jail because of addiction. Okay, you shouldn't be. Jails should be for violent criminals.
Absolutely.
And we don't do that. We're putting like people that commit theft or this and that with violent criminals for months at a time. What do you think is going to happen to them?
They're going to turn into violent
They're
criminals.
going to turn into violent criminals. Prison is not reforming anybody.
Ever.
And we need to, that's a discussion we definitely need to have. And I'm big on criminal justice reform. And that's coming from a cop. People wouldn't think that.
Never.
You're right, but I
just got really
I personally seen it. I've seen it. People with addictions should not be in jail. We need to get them help. We need to get them, because it's not their fault.
Yeah.
After they start doing that drug, it's not their fault. They're sick. They have to do it to feel better. I don't think people understand that. And you know what makes me sick on TikTok? When I see people videotape people with addictions.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Laying on the ground, they're unconscious.
Or they're laughing.
And they're laughing at them.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah.
This person has would you be making fun out of somebody that has an MS or some kind of disease?
Cancer
Right,
or
no, you
something
wouldn't.
else. Yeah.
And these people have addiction problems. I'm big on that, and I'm always going to fight for that. So I get it. That's what I just wanted to tell you. I get it. I definitely want to help you.
I could not agree more with that. As far as addiction and our system, everyone goes to the same place to get the same help. That's just locking them away to take them off the streets, which I understand there's mass amounts of people. That's kind of what they have to do at that point because there's no other systems put in place. But I do agree 100%. Addiction is like any other disease. It's an actual disease, whether it's alcohol or meth, heroin, all these crazy things that are out there these days, fentanyl. We're watching people just die in the same levels that they're dying from cancer or a heart attack or heart disease, but we're not looking at it like that. You see someone with heart disease and it's, oh, poor young person has heart disease, they have to take medicine or whatever, but they're not looking at it like poor meth head who, you know, it's because like, oh, they did it to themselves, but actually technically they didn't. You know what I mean? You can say that to somebody with cancer as well. Well, they ate a lot of sugar, that causes cancer. Do you see what I'm saying? Nobody would ever say that to a cancer victim or survivor.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, so that is. So, you know, guys, also here's another thing, audience. If there are some drug issues that you have or someone that you know, look at these guys. They're actually, everyone here, you people are here to help you. So that the whole world and the legal system is not against you. Because I feel like that's a lot of the time what some of these criminals and drug dealers and drug addicts think is like, oh, there's a cop, there's a detective. Like, you guys aren't human. I mean, you're just about the law.
Right.
So you just heard it from Danny himself. There's an understanding here, guys. Any way we can get help and help is a great thing.
I'll share one thing as well is that a lot of people don't know, like there's 311, which is non-emergency. There's 911 for emergency numbers, but there is a number which is for referral services, for social services, which is 211, which a lot of people don't know. There are some, you know, some bus shelters that show the advertisement in places. But 211, you can call and say, hey, I have no money and I have children and I need diapers, or I lost my social security card and I'm homeless, or I need identification. You can call 211 and it's all about social services referrals.
Guys.
If you said anything whatsoever, if you had an addiction, if you were suicidal, like they will refer you to the right place to get you help.
Guys, 211, did you guys just hear Dave? If there's a struggle going on and you guys need something and you're in a bind, maybe before doing something illegal or whatever, call 211. See if there's something they can do to help.
Absolutely.
Because there's so many services out there. Thank you so much for sharing that. A lot of people don't know that. I learned that last week from you.
Absolutely.
When you said 211. I think that is amazing that we have those kind of services. And also there are mental health service numbers as well through 211, right? Like if someone feels like they're losing it, could they call and say, hey, instead of I'm losing it right now?
Years ago when I was a police officer in Henderson, I remember that there would be like a list of like 6 pages. And then, you know, most of the times you wouldn't, like, what would you do with that list? You would give it to people, or most cops wouldn't carry, just an extra thing to carry.
Yeah.
But these days with the phone number 211, it's been around probably at least 15, 16 years. A lot of people don't know about it. They do educate the public, but a lot of people just need to market it more for the community. So I've always been preaching 211 since it started. and most police officers may not even know about 211. So we have to re-educate the community, remarket it, social media, stuff like that. But any type of help, they will refer you. It doesn't cost any money. It's 24 hours a day. They'll even text you the information after as well.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for that, Dave. Danny, I wanted to get into something with you, kind of on but off topic.
Okay.
Okay, so I was on your TikTok again.
Okay.
The crime junkie. Some girl got in touch with me and she goes, "You can't use that name." I said, "It's only on the show and I'm not labeling myself that." So she thought I was trying to like LLC her name. I said, "No, I'm just saying."
Somebody calls themselves a crime junkie on there.
She calls herself the crime junkie, and I referred to myself last week 2 times as a crime junkie, so I'm getting some heat. I'm not trying to say I'm the crime junkie. I'm saying I am a crime junkie. Okay, anyway. So, I wanted to clear that up before I got more shade. Okay, so there's something on there, a little boy. I don't know how old he is, and I watched it real quick. You were heated and confused over this case.
Yeah.
Can you tell me a little bit about the case? The little boy, he was on a bike.
His name is Donahue.
Okay, Donahue. And he's not in the United States.
No, it was a case in Ireland.
Okay.
In Ireland, this is like the John Benet Ramsey case of Ireland.
Okay.
Because when I was asked to do a video. A lot of my followers will contact me and say, "Hey, I have a missing person. My brother's missing, my sister's," and they asked me to do videos.
Sure.
So my followers, they contacted me about this case in Ireland.
Okay.
And I did this case. Basically what happened was he was at home and he asked his mom if he can go over to his friend's house. They had to do a school project.
Do you know how old he is?
I believe, just off the top of my head, I think like 12.
Okay, so
somewhere around there.
Young,
He's a young kid.
He
He asked his mom if he could get on his bike and go over to his friend's house to do the project. This 20-minute ride to his friend's house was crazy because it was caught on camera. For some reason, this kid fell off his bike at one point. It's on camera. Then all of a sudden, he decides to take his clothes off. This 12-year-old boy takes his clothes off and starts driving on this bike with no clothes on. Okay? And then they see him walking down a field, and it's the last time the cameras catch him. He never makes it to his friend's house, and they find him drowned in like this sewerage area. So he's found drowned, dead.
I don't know about you guys. I hear just that, and that's not a lot. That's just a tad bit of information.
Yeah.
I think drugs.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, he's got to be like on drugs. Why? Like, that's too weird.
Some people said because he hit his head, something happened to him, and that's why he took his clothes off and started riding his bike with no clothes on.
Medically, if you hit your head, it would take up to 48 hours for you to even hit the delusional state to even take your clothes off. So medically, that's not possible.
All right.
So let's wean that out. But that was so interesting to me, and I thought a 12-year-old, and yeah, there are 12-year-olds all over the place doing drugs right now.
Right.
But for me, when I watched them, I didn't see it as a drug. I don't think. I was like, okay, maybe
This is
he
a
is,
little
maybe
kid.
he's nice. A little kid.
It does
And
not
he's
look
little.
like
He's
not
a big boy.
They're saying he was murdered. And that's what
bad.
they're saying, he was murdered. Like, listen, in that country, and we're not familiar, but there's like wars between the Protestants and the Catholics and everything. That's going on there.
Yeah.
And it's still going on to this day, and they believe that's why he was murdered. That's what people are DMing me in my DMs. So that case, Nathan Donahue, I mean, that case just... It's the John Benet Ramsey case of Ireland.
To me, it's insane. It's one of the craziest that honestly, I said to myself, is this real?
But
like, I know it's real, but I'm like, is this real? It's out of the country, so we don't have a fact check, in the United States. So, but that's the most insane thing.
Well, I looked at, I mentioned in that video the other case in Los Angeles at the Chelsea Hotel where that girl was found in the water tank.
The
Cecil, not Chelsea.
The Cecil.
Yes. Found in the water tank. That, to me, is the craziest case I've ever heard.
In the elevator?
It's the craziest
what was
case
she
ever.
doing in that elevator?
Yeah,
there was either someone there or there was something else. There's something.
That girl did not drown herself in that water tank. No. There's no way that... Look that case up. It's insane.
Do you have trouble sleeping? Like, all you do is submerge yourself in that stuff.
I know.
For, what did you say, 27 years?
You know what? That's a good question. Do you know, I only ever was able to sleep one night. And it was a broken ankle. I saw it. It's so crazy. Because I've been through everything. This ankle was broken so bad, I was scarred from looking at it. Because the lady was in shock, and I didn't want her to look how bad her ankle was broken. Yeah. So we put a blanket over her so she wouldn't see. But I saw it, and when I saw it,
was it backwards?
Yes. Oh, it was tore right. Sorry, public. I shouldn't say this, but honestly, I think I tried not. I don't know how Dave did it, but I tried not to take things home. And I know it's hard to do that, but the reason a lot of cops are married to their job. I'm not saying I wasn't married to it, but I had hobbies outside of it. Mm-hmm. I believe you need hobbies. I played softball. I played poker. I've had things other than my job. And a
Ways
lot
to
of cops,
decompress.
a lot of cops are only friends with cops. They won't be friends with other people. They live and die that job. They will tell you it's their life.
Mm-hmm.
It was never my life. It was just my job. I loved it, don't get me wrong, but I had other things. I cared about my family, and I think having hobbies kept me normal. But like you said, I'm sure I'm scarred in some way that I don't even know about.
Can I ask you though?
Yeah.
This is fun for you, huh? You love help solving. You love helping people. You love these interesting stories.
Yeah.
So it is something that's, even if it's negative, you love it, because I'm not kidding. I go home at night and it's like, oh, I had such a long day. I gotta watch a murder.
Listen, I'll be honest.
You know, that's what I do. I love my murders.
I met Dave through sales, okay? So
Yeah.
I was in sales, and I was very good at sales.
Yeah.
Okay, and I know I could go back and probably make $100,000 a year doing sales. I know it somewhere I could find a sales job. But I'd rather do this. I'd rather make less money doing this
Something you love.
than and helping people, because I have all this knowledge. And that's the truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
No, I get that completely.
Yeah.
I say that to my students all the time in class. Like, do what you love, no matter what it looks like financially. You'll make your way financially, but do what you love. Because if not, you're not living a life. For me, I do what I love every single day. And if I stop loving that, I'll do something different.
Right.
So I don't know what the future holds, but I Googled the other day. I was like, what does it take to be an FBI agent? So I Googled, I'm like, I have that education. I have this. I'm working on my stuff. So I don't know what we'll do. We'll see what's coming for me next.
I spent 4 years getting my accounting degree.
Okay.
6 months of having my first accounting job, I quit, and I said I want to be an actor.
Yes.
There you go.
I love that.
Awesome.
Yes.
Always got to pursue what makes you happy.
That's it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's good on the heart, guys. That's good on the heart.
You know, I just want to say one thing, just coming back, you were talking about cops are human too,
Yeah.
and they do care. One thing I want to tell you, and it's a little off topic, but think about marijuana, right? Marijuana is legal in some states. It's not legal. It's the dumbest thing I ever, and Dave will tell you, alcohol is 150 times worse than marijuana.
Absolutely.
But the country doesn't want you to know that, because they want you to go buy their prescription drugs. They don't want you to buy the cheap marijuana, and that's the truth. Because alcohol is way worse. I've never been called to a fight where everybody's high. But I've been called to millions of bar fights when everybody's drunk, right? How many people you think murdered people high? Probably none.
Yeah.
Alcohol all the time, right? Somebody could offend me. Not that I'm dating myself. I may have tried it a time or two. But honestly, when somebody yells at you, if you're doing marijuana, you just relax, right? Alcohol.
They're like, what are they yelling at?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So my point is, even though in Pennsylvania marijuana was illegal, cops themselves stopped enforcing it.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest with you. They stopped enforcing
That's
it.
New York City as well, I believe.
They would
after a
find
while.
marijuana, they'd throw it out. They'd say, hey, knock it off, take it, throw it out. Or they'd give you a ticket for just like a parking ticket or something like that.
Yeah.
Cops themselves in Pennsylvania are now saying, this is a dumb law, we're not enforcing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know why the whole country's going to come involved in this, but I just want to tell you that cops do know. They do feel the same thing you do, and we know that's a dumb law, and we stopped enforcing it. And that's the truth. So, you want to add to that, Dave? No?
I mean, I just think that times are changing, you know, and but I do say that there will be an increase in substantial bodily harm and death in Las Vegas because of all the medical, you know, the marijuana. I would say medical.
You mean with DUIs and stuff?
With marijuana. I mean, you can go through drive-thrus to go pick up marijuana. So, I mean, the bottom line is there's going to be lounges with marijuana. So even though people are more relaxed, the problem is I do believe that people are going to be driving under the influence more than before. You know what I'm saying? I mean, think about it. If you're going through a drive-thru, it's almost like you're saying, hey, it's okay to drive to go get the marijuana. That is it such a big deal just to smoke a little bit on the way there or the way when you leave? It's just like alcohol, right? Like people go pick up alcohol and they open up a can of beer, you know, on the way home or something like that. So I'm just concerned about the future with all this marijuana out there, how it does affect the impairment of driving. So the question really comes down to, will there be an increase in death? I personally believe. What are your thoughts?
This is what I think. I think there's going to end up being a huge case in front of the Supreme Court over it. And I'm going to tell you why. Marijuana stays in your system for 30 days, sometimes even longer. Okay, marijuana for some reason stays in there. So you can do marijuana like, say, 3 days ago. Now a cop, say you're in a fender bender accident. And for some reason, that cop thinks you're under the influence. He takes you in there, and you may have not done anything for 3 days. It's in your system.
Yeah,
it's in your system. So it's going to be a fight were you intoxicated? Were you high at that time of that accident? I think it's going to end up going to the Supreme Court. Because how could you prove that person was high at that time?
You can't.
Marijuana stays in your system the whole time. Now, this is what I hear. They're having artificial intelligence come in where they're going to be able to check your eyes. This machine's going to come on your eyes and tell you
do the scan, the retina
That's
scan.
what they're saying they're going to do. So cops are going to have these machines on scene and be able to scan your eyes.
Because they already started doing the blood on scene of specific accidents. Isn't that true? Specific accidents only if there was a fatality?
But I don't think the blood results come back that quickly, so.
Right.
But right now, that if a cop stops you and your eyes are watery, bloodshot, red, that's probably cause to believe that you're basically on some type of controlled substance, whether marijuana or something else. It's enough for you to go to jail.
And they're still taking
Doesn't
you away.
mean that you're going to be convicted of the crime. It just means that you can be arrested. Your car is
So guys, do you hear this? Here, listen to this. So they will be arrested. If you guys go to the drive-thru, pick up some weed, smoke some weed, drive away, get pulled over by a cop, you have some red eyes, something's going on, your car's reeking, you will get locked up for that, right? You will get locked up. Guys, don't do that. If you're going to go do your thing, take it home, do what you got to do, don't drive impaired. Yeah, I did not know that, actually, to be honest with you. I thought since it's legal, it's legal.
If your car smells like marijuana, your eyes are watery and red, the bloodshot, you smell like marijuana. The cops not going to know. You could say, I smoked it 2 days ago, right? But the problem is, there's still probable cause means that you're probably under the influence as long as you have 1% over, which means the 1% could be the bloodshot, the red eyes, the watery eyes, or the smell, or stuff like that. 1% is pretty easy to get as a cop, just to take you to jail. There is a saying in the police world that you may be able to beat the crime, but you're not going to be able to beat the ride. So you're going to get the ride to jail. Your car gets towed. You may be able to beat the crime in general, but the ride you're not going to beat, right? Yeah. So you may have children at home. You may have work that you may miss. So there's a lot of things that come. You got to be very, very careful in general. To me, to each person, they're their own person. If they want to do drugs, they want to hurt themselves, like they're their own person. They have to make a decision.
Here's one thing that you probably didn't. That's even stupider. Okay, because our states are like, you're okay here, you're not okay here. In our state, Nevada, okay, you can be smoking marijuana. You can have marijuana in your car, totally legal, right? You go to Lake Mead, you go across that border.
Yeah.
It's now illegal.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still in Nevada, but when you cross that border into Lake Mead, it's illegal there.
Federal.
Yeah, but Dave, it's so dumb. Okay, it's legal here. It's not. Come on, this is all about money. And I'm not fighting. I should be a marijuana advocate, right? But it's not about money. It's because I hate lying. Lying bothers the hell out of me.
Tell them how you feel.
Yeah, lying bothers me. I know they're lying to sell us their prescription drugs. That's what they want to do.
I was just going to ask, tap into that, because you tapped into that a little bit. So you're just about up there. They're just pumping out those drugs, and they want us off anything natural.
Yes.
So they can pump out the drugs. They can make billions and billions, and that's it. Yeah.
The first thing the doctor tells you when you go to him, let me write you a script. Let me write you a script. He's doing that to take care of his buddies. Yeah. That's the truth. Okay? We know how, listen, I've tried marijuana. I know how marijuana feels, and I believe that it could 100% help cancer victims. If they feel better, if they're sick, they have some kind of illness. And all these years, we took it away from these people, where they could have felt better, all because people were filling their pockets. And that is a fact.
And if you think of some of the cancer drugs, those are the biggest opioids on the streets right now.
And most people are addicted to prescription drugs now more than anything.
Ever. More than ever, they say now.
Drugs. Yeah. Why? Because the doctors made them addicted to it.
Yeah.
It's exactly what happened.
So we do have a very young society, too.
Yes.
Of people addicted to drugs, too, which is very concerning, because you see the ages. Parents, for some reason, believe the system, and they put a young person on Adderall or Xanax or whatever the kid versions of those are, Ritalin, whatever it is, and that kid then turns 18, 20, 25, and now they're on these heavier drugs, and they say that these drugs are segues for other drugs. If you're prone to be on an upper, you're going to need that upper forever.
Right.
If you're prone to be on a downer, you're going to need that downer forever. So that's where I think, from a medical standpoint, is like just insane what we're physically making young children's bodies need these things. That's insane. Guys, we're going to be right back.
This show is brought to you by Modern Word Ministries.
John is an employee at one of the most famous firms in the city of New York. So his job is very hectic, and he realized that it is necessary for him to go and finally take a vacation. But he went on a vacation without planning out the details, and wasn't able to truly enjoy where he went because he had to think about so many things that he didn't plan for. Instead of enjoying his time away from work, he came back with more stress that he was not able to take full advantage of his vacation. But this year, a coworker suggested him to try World Ventures this time to make his vacationing more enjoyable and less stressful. They do not require you to plan anything outside of your transportation, which is also available at discounted rates. Your stay, your transport, and many meals are planned by the club. John liked the idea very much. He tries World Ventures, and his experience with the club was amazing, as he made many friends there with whom he had a great time. John recommends that everyone should try this club, as they are the best in business. See how the VIP-vacation-club.com can give you the right experience without all the hassle. Enjoy the VIP experience that only World Ventures.
Traditional TV is going away. Hollywood is starting to fade. People are demanding real stories from real people. Our voices are now being heard in our own way. Podcasts, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok Live are becoming the norm. Internet TV has now reached the highest demand in human history. Social media shows is now the new media of the century.
Welcome back, guys. We're going to unfortunately have to wrap this up pretty soon, so I have a few more minutes left with these guys. They're super excited. Stay tuned with us. Okay, so we have been talking about a load of topics today from Levi's brother was murdered. If you have not been here the whole time, please check back in, start from the beginning and watch this episode. It was really, really good. We have here Dave, who's been so helpful, reward money for crimes and stuff like that. He actually granted, am I saying that right? You granted him then $5,000 grant to Levi and his family to try to help find the brother. So there'll be find out who did this to his brother. So there's a reward for that. Dave, I couldn't thank you and your firm so much. Can you tell us the name of the firm again, please?
So it's Hadari Law Group. It's
Hadari Law Group, guys. Hadari Law Group. I like to put this all out there because this is all for our public, local, and abroad. Hadari Law Group. Awesome. Thank you so much.
And also, by the way, once we get it set up, if you go to thecrimesolver.com, the reward money and the link and stuff like that will be on there so that people can do the anonymous tips. Yeah. That's what's great about thecrimesolver.com with Danny. There is a location on the app where you could provide tip information to any of the crimes that he talks about specifically once we get his uploaded as well. Awesome. So if anyone has any tip information, they can go to the crimesolver.com for anything, whether it's in the United States or all over the world. People can go and provide that information to Danny so he can work on, with whoever, with local law enforcement or through the private investigators that we work with as well. So that's great.
Awesome. Okay, and Dave, let's just say, for instance, I'm like, I want to donate $1,000 and I put $6,000 to that. Is there a way that I could go in the app and donate money to the reward? That system.
Yeah, so you go to crimesolver.com, basically there's all just different tabs and stuff like that, and there's one section of probably just communication, just saying, hey, I would like to match, or I'd like to basically
and you can add whatever amount you'd like.
Yeah,
even if it's a couple of $100, guys, or whatever. The money is being pooled to different cases, right? Is that true? So the money is pooled to different cases. I know it's a huge time of year right now, right after taxes, donation time for those people that need to get their donations in. And this is a really, really great cause. Why not put some money to help put some criminals behind bars, just at least get them off the streets so they can't do it to your kids, your grandkids, of everyone. So yeah, that's awesome. So they can log on, donate some money that way. That's a really good cause. Okay.
Absolutely.
How's your handle? How can everyone get in touch with you if they need to get in touch with you?
So the problemsolver.vegas is myself, is the problem solver for me in general. Again, HadariLawGroup.com basically is the law firm that I work with as the director of operations and helping people through getting justice and through what I call the Justice Division and the Justice Fund. And again, Danny's through the crimesolver.com in regards to the apps is the best way of communicating with these days.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't. I learned about the app last week. I haven't bugged you guys on it yet. We made a joke that I was just going to be like, "Hey guys, what's up on the app?" But I haven't got on yet. But I will. I promise. Again, Levi, thank you so much for having us. Would you like to tell the audience a handle they can get in touch with you, whether it be Instagram or however they can take a look at you?
So if you guys want to follow me on Instagram, it's Levi_Mac702. I'm also on Facebook and all that good stuff. And I also want to say something to any other people that are growing up and they're going through situations like I went through. Don't let it define you. You know, the first 20 years in your life are going to be hard, but it's up to you to keep going, keep climbing that mountain. Life is so beautiful on the other side. Keep pushing to get over that hill.
I love
Awesome.
that.
That was
Guys,
great.
I love that. Levi's one of my favorites, just so you guys know. I know he's
I like
come
being a
from
favorite.
he is my favorite. I know he's come from a lot, but the work that he does every week with me in class, I'm watching him progress, and it's absolutely amazing. He's a fantastic actor, guys. So also I'm going to plug him as his agent right now. If anyone wants to hire a good actor who has depth to
This is
his
my
heart
good
and
side.
soul, that's his good side. His pictures, he takes beautiful photos. I'm going to tell them all the good things about you. He works out constantly. He's got six-pack abs.
Stop.
It's true.
No, keep going, keep going.
So if you guys want to hire him for anything, just contact me. Of course, Dawn Sullivan _ again, Dawn Sullivan _ I do most of my stuff on Instagram. My TikTok's all right. Facebook's kind of private for friends and family. But yeah, Instagram, Dawn _ especially if you want to book Levi out. There's a ton of pictures of him on there anyway. He's the bald guy on my Instagram. Okay, and how can they get in touch with you?
At the Crime Solver, TikTok.
At the Crime Solver TikTok.
Make sure you put and listen, reach out to me if you have cold cases, missing persons, somebody in your family, you want me to go over their case and get it out there, just DM me. I promise you I will get it out there. I'll have it on my podcast and I'll have
So nothing too small. So if we have
nothing. I don't care what you have.
Okay.
We will do anything.
Guys, do you hear this? Nothing too small. If you have well, I don't know, I don't want to make it a big deal.
Yeah.
This happened 15 years ago. This happened, look at this, his case. Levi's case is 12 years ago.
Right.
It's his time right now. Maybe he's at an age and for whatever reason this is happening, we're going to hopefully get some answers and get some justice and get this going. So if you're in that situation too, please get in touch with Danny. He is here.
DNA is big now. It's even better now. So we can solve these cold cases now with this DNA. So we got to get it out there.
Yeah.
Dawn, real quickly, I'm not sure you know, but one of the Danny specializes in if you have a missing dog or cat. He'll go out and look for the dog and cat as well. No, I'm joking.
You're joking. I hope you're joking. Because I have the doorbell ring, and that thing is like my whole thing. And I live in a very nice neighborhood. The whole thing is like, oh my god! And I'm like, oh, the poodle, the white kitten was found. I was looking for what was his name? I think Ted or some Gary. I was looking for Gary the cat for months because he was so cute. I'm like, if I find it, I'm keeping it. So anyway, you don't do animals though, right?
No.
This is Dave. Just
No,
okay.
I'm just playing.
Dave.
But if you do, I'll put it out there if you have a missing dog. No, I will.
Don't bother him with missing animals, please. That's all Dave. All Dave.
He's the problem solver.
He's the problem solver. So guys, that's another thing. If you have any other serious problems with your neighbors, anything you need investigated, something's not sitting right, it's okay to get in touch with Dave.
Absolutely.
He's got a lot of stuff going in the law firm that he's working with right now. Say that one more time for me.
Again, Hadari Law Group, anyone that has any problems or if they need any type of help, being a retired police officer, using my background experience, knowing a lot of medical and legal people in the community and stuff like that, try to go above and beyond trying to help solve problems. And again, Danny's the crime solver, so today we kind of broke things up a little bit, but we're always working together as a part of the two brothers working together to help solve problems and crime together.
We do fight sometimes, though.
Yeah, I can see it. Yes, you're a little bit loud, and he goes, whatever,
Yeah.
right? Is it?
It's exactly right. I go off, and he ignores
and you're
me.
ignoring it. You're level-headed, and you're... Okay, guys, we're going to have to wrap up today. Thank you guys all. You're so much
Thank you
fun.
so much
Dave,
for having
I
us.
appreciate all that you
Thank
do
you.
for the show, for me, for us, for production. Levi.
By the way,
one of my
hopefully 6
favorite.
months from now, we can come back with a success story, regarding
That would be
That would be fantastic.
awesome.
Yes.
Yes, and thank you for all that
Yeah,
you do.
no
I
problem.
love co-hosting with you. You're just the coolest cat ever. You're loud, but you're good.
I like the loudness.
Yeah, he's right. It works. All right, you're here with a bunch of New Yorkers now. How do you feel?
I feel comfortable. I'm more excited for next month.
Okay, this is so cool. He's going to be in New York June 24th, IMTA. Please wish us luck on our fan page and stuff. We're going to be going from the 24th to the 30th, Dream Tracks Academy. Please don't forget to log on to Dream Tracks if you need anything, modeling, acting, TV, commercial, film, print, singing, dancing, all of it. Please come through. I have a bunch of auditions going on. I'm still working on Mercedes-Benz. I'm still working on, brand new Legoland, Sephora makeup, pretty much all of it.
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai, still working Cobra Kai, thank you. And there's a couple more out there. So guys, please just log on. If you need anything from us, we're always here to answer questions. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. And come on with the fan mail. I love this. Next week, I will answer some questions, I promise. Not my age, but some questions. Thank you so much.